The US government just revised Q4 2025 productivity numbers, and they're significantly worse than initially reported. Productivity growth fell from 2.8% to 1.8%, which is a very sharp downgrade. At the same time, unit labor costs jumped from 2.8% to 4.4%, far higher than economists expected. That combination, workers producing less while costing more, creates exactly the conditions that make inflation persistent and economic growth difficult. This happened before the Iran war made everything worse, by the way. I'm Elle, I have a PhD in computer science, and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics. If we dig into publicly available data on productivity and labor costs, what emerges is a picture of an American economy losing competitiveness exactly when it can least afford to. Let's define the term first, because not everyone is an economist, myself included. Productivity measures how much output workers produce per hour worked. If a factory worker produces 100 widgets per hour, that's the productivity baseline. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported non-farm productivity, which tracks hourly output per worker across the economy, increased at just 1.8% in Q4 2025 after initial estimates of 2.8%. So that would be a significant revision downward. Unit labor costs measure the price of labor per single unit of output. If wages rise 5%, but productivity only rises 1%, unit labor costs increase roughly 4%, which means companies are paying more to produce the same amount. Unit labor costs in Q4 rose 4.4%, revised up from the initial 2.8% estimate. Economists had forecast costs would be reversed to 3.5%. The actual number came in worse. Why does this matter, you might ask? Economist John Riding of Brain Capital stated, I'm quoting here, "If this pace of unit labor cost increases persists, it is too fast to be consistent with 2% inflation over time and stable profit margins. When labor costs rise faster than productivity, companies ultimately face a choice: absorb the costs and sacrifice your own profits, or raise prices and fuel inflation further. Neither of these options is a good option." The revisions were telegraphed by other bad data too. GDP growth for Q4 was also revised down from 1.4% to 0.7%. The economy slowed dramatically. Manufacturing was hit hardest. Productivity fell 2.5%, the steepest quarterly decline in nearly 4 years. Manufacturing unit labor costs spiked 9.1%, the largest increase since late 2022. What caused this collapse, you might ask? Analysis points to a phenomenon called labor hoarding. Companies retained staff despite falling demand, leading to a drop in efficiency. Manufacturing output fell 2.2%, while hours worked decreased only 0.3%. Workers stayed on payroll but produced less, crushing productivity metrics. Two specific shocks drove this. First, the 43-day government shutdown that began on October 1st, 2025. The Congressional Budget Office estimated the shutdown itself subtracted 1.5 percentage points from Q4 GDP growth as federal regulatory reviews for new factories and export licenses ground to a halt, basically. Second, there's the tariffs. The Liberation Day tariffs, 25% levies on imported steel, aluminum, and automotive components, reached their full effective rate of 17% across all imports by year end. Caterpillar reported $1.03 billion in unfavorable manufacturing costs due to tariff-driven spikes in raw material prices. General Motors reported a $3.1 billion total hit from tariffs for 2025. We made a separate long video analysis on General Motors. If you want to develop frameworks for identifying when economic fundamentals are deteriorating before official revisions make it obvious and sharpen your own critical thinking, check out my book, Awake, the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Self-Lies. It's available in ebook and audiobook. Subscribers get 10% off, and you can read the first chapter for free using the description links below. What is really happening under the hood here is the following. American competitiveness is essentially eroding. When productivity falls and labor costs rise simultaneously, US-produced goods become more expensive relative to competitors. Companies face pressure to either automate aggressively or shift production offshore, where labor costs are lower and productivity isn't hampered by policy shocks. Caterpillar's operating margin plummeted to 13.9% from 18.0% a year prior, a nearly 410 basis point decline in profitability despite hitting record revenue. That's margin compression in action. They're essentially making less money. When costs rise faster than revenue, profits, of course, get squeezed. Multiply that now across the industrial sector, and you get a picture of American manufacturing losing ground. The Fed now appears to be trapped. Unit labor costs at 4.4% are incompatible with returning inflation to the 2% target. The Fed cannot really cut rates aggressively because inflation remains elevated, but they also can't really raise rates without triggering a recession when productivity is already weak and companies are struggling with margins. It's a very unenviable situation, and this is the classic stagflation trap: slow growth paired with persistent inflation. We've already covered how US markets are slowly crashing as a result of the Iran war. Check that video for the full breakdown of consecutive weekly losses. But the productivity collapse happened before the war began in Q4 2025. The economy was already weakening from self-inflicted wounds, tariffs disrupting supply chains, and a government shutdown paralyzing regulatory functions. The Iran war simply accelerated trends already in motion. And just consider the timing too. Q4 2025 data was released in March 2026 after delays from the government shutdown. By the time markets saw the revised numbers showing productivity at 1.8% and labor costs at 4.4%, the US was already 3 weeks into a war with Iran. Oil above $110 per barrel, stock markets posting their 4th consecutive weekly loss, and now confirmation that the underlying economy was weaker than anyone thought. Matthew Martin, senior U.S. economist at Oxford Economics, noted, I'm quoting, "Strong productivity growth alongside stable or declining wage growth means the labor market won't be a source of inflationary pressures in the near term." But productivity growth wasn't strong. It was weak and revised lower. That is the problem ultimately. The manufacturing sector faces particular pressure. Analysis suggests companies will accelerate automation to reduce reliance on an increasingly expensive labor pool. Short-term, that means more capital investment in robotics and AI-driven systems. Long-term, it means fewer manufacturing jobs and continued pressure on workers. We've covered how Europe and Canada are positioning to challenge US currency dominance. Check that video for details on alternative financial architecture. When American productivity collapses while labor costs spike, that strengthens the case for diversification away from dollar-denominated assets. Why hold reserves in a currency where the underlying economy appears to be losing competitiveness? I'm going to watch for 3 developments from here. First, whether Q1 2026 productivity data shows improvement or continued weakness. If the trend persists, I'm going to expect more companies to announce offshoring or automation initiatives. Second, whether the Fed maintains its current stance or signals rate hikes. If labor costs stay elevated, maybe they're not really going to have a choice. Let's see. Third, whether manufacturing companies report margin compression in their earnings calls. If margins keep falling, layoffs become inevitable. If productivity remains weak while labor costs stay high, the Fed will be forced to choose between tolerating inflation above target or triggering a recession by raising rates. Neither of these choices is a good one. The economy needs productivity growth to absorb wage increases without fueling inflation. Without it, stagflation becomes not just a risk, but the baseline scenario. Once again, these videos are not financial advice. Please don't change any of your positions off the back of them. They're simply meant for education and perhaps entertainment purposes. The ultimate issue is that America entered a war that it can't afford with an economy that was already weakening. Productivity falling, labor costs rising, margins compressing, and the Fed trapped between inflation and recession. Then add oil at $110+ per barrel, the Strait of Hormuz currently closed, and markets in freefall. Each problem compounds the others. For more context on how desperate the U.S. position is becoming, check out the video on your screen right now about Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent begging the EU and China for investments into the USA. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.